Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mary. I'm going to talk to you guys about miscarriage. I am 1 in 4. Yes, I had a little boy at 22 weeks. His name was Damin, and he had something called triploidy. What this is a chromosomal disorder where instead of having 2 sets of chromosomes like everybody does, he had 3 sets of chromosomes. So he ended up having heart issues, he had a hole in his brain, and he had quite a few other issues. When I first found out I was pregnant, I didn't have insurance, and so I didn't see a doctor right away. I didn't think anything was wrong, and it was just kind of like everything was normal. I didn't have any morning sickness, but I started getting the belly and everything like that. And when I finally did see the doctor, they had I had the first appointment, which was a pap smear, and that came back clean and normal, and then I had an ultrasound next week, and the doctor had the ultrasound tech was doing my ultrasound, and she got this look on her face. It was really weird, and I'm like, is there something wrong? She's like, no, I just have to go get the doctor. So the doctor came in and scanned me and looked at me, and then he said, you have to come in tomorrow for an appointment. And so I set up the appointment with my doctor because my insurance wouldn't cover like an actual appointment and the ultrasound at the same time. It was just something weird. So the next day I went in again, and he's like, we think your child has a compressed skull, which a compressed skull is where the baby does not have a brain. So I did not know that at the time. So he's like, we're gonna make you an appointment at the university hospital and get a further ultrasound, make it clearer, make sure that see what's really going on. So I went literally like 2 days later to the university that was close to my house. It was like an hour away from my house. But it was very scary. Like, I was 20 years old, sitting there on the table getting an ultrasound. They found the heartbeat right away. They weren't able to see the gender at the first ultrasound at my doctor. At my doctor's office. So they told me, it was a boy, and I'm like, oh yay, and that was super exciting. And then she looked at me and she's like, so what did they tell you? Like, what did your doctor tell you? What did he think was going on? And I told them that he thought that it was a compressed skull. She's like, do you understand what a compressed skull is? do you understand what a compressed skull is? And I'm like, no, they didn't tell. I asked them, but they were more worried about making the appointment than they were telling me what was going on. And she explained what it was, and I'm like, well, I have had an ultrasound that confirmed the baby had a brain. And she's like, yeah, there is a brain in there, but the baby has a hole in his brain. And there's some other issues. And then she sat there and she was like, we would like to take an amniocentesis. And if you don't already know, an amniocentesis is where they take a needle and they try to get amniotic fluid out of the placenta. So, without hitting the baby, of course. So, they were able to do that, and 2 weeks later I got a call saying that my son had triploidy, and they had explained that triploidy is a chromosomal disorder that happens very rarely. It's like 1%. It's very rare. And my son had full triploidy. All of his chromosomes were tripled, and it was crazy. And it was nuts. I couldn't believe it. And I did some research. Triploidy only happens if the mom has another set of chromosomes in an egg when it gets fertilized, or if 2 sperm get in the egg. My triploidy was the male, the 2 sperm get in the egg part. About 2 weeks after I got the results back from the amniocentesis, I was about to have an appointment at the high-risk clinic at the hospital. I had changed doctors because my doctor wasn't equipped to take care of a pregnancy like that. And I took a shower, got ready for work because I was working at the time, and went into work. While I was at work, I went to the bathroom, and there was blood everywhere. And so I was the only one there, so I called another coworker in to take care of the store, because I was going to the hospital. I wasn't going to stay there. Well, I called in that coworker, and he said, yeah, I'll come in. He had literally just left, and I felt so bad for making him come in, but I wasn't going to stay there, like I had said. And I went to the hospital, and they did Doppler, which is they looked for the heartbeat on my belly, and then they did an ultrasound, and both confirmed that there was no longer a beating heart. And so my baby had passed away, and I was 22 weeks, so it was not like I could give birth naturally. I mean, it could just, like, naturally come out. So, I actually had labored for 36 hours. I have really long labors, like, with my living son and daughter. My shortest labor was 16 hours. But I labored for 36 hours. I had triple the dosage of medicine that I wasn't supposed to have that much, but my body still wouldn't give birth to the baby. My body was holding on. And after that, it was hard. The guy I was with had left me on my birthday. Yeah, like 2 weeks after we had the baby. And I just wasn't in a good place. I ended up moving in with my sister, and I met the guy I'm with now, and I had my 2 babies, and I still think about that every day. I think about, oh, what would Liam and Damin be like together? My two sons, what would they be like together? Because he'd be like 3 now, and just feel like I'm gonna cry. So I'll just stop this where I'm at. Have a nice day, and bye.